Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Delta Motivation. If you haven't done so already, press that subscribe button, get the notifications. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been a little while since I've done another podcast. Just time, life, you understand how it is, but I'm glad to be back. Now, this episode is about this self-awareness that I want to talk about and how we see ourselves and how society sees us. So it comes from the self-worth side of things. I think it's really important to talk about our self-worth, how we view ourselves, where do we fit in, why are we needing that acceptance from others, how does it make us feel, etc. So if you are struggling with that, this one's definitely going to be for you. And if you do know someone who is struggling, sit them down, get them to listen to this or talk to them yourself and really build that connection. So, I want to get stuck into it. What this is about is society gives us this social media platform. And I'm going to say society gives us this. I know there was a creator and it got put into place, but society has evolved enough that social media has taken over. We now have the ability in the palm of our hands to go on and talk to people all over the world. Even right now, this podcast, it can be seen in any country as long as you have internet power and the app. So society has evolved to that sense, which means that the validation that we used to thrive and used to want from our local community has now broadened. We, as children, grow up wanting to be valued, wanting to be noticed by our parents, our siblings, people the closest to us. But that door has now been opened to the world, which means that validation doesn't only just come from family, in-house, closeness, friends. It's now available on a global scale, which is great, but it's also a detriment because it means that what we're getting at home, what we're getting around our friends and our families isn't enough. We're actually wanting more. We're wanting to get that view. We're wanting to get that likes, that subscribe, that comment, that little bit extra. And that's because the door's open to us. We've realized that the 5 people closest to us doesn't have to be only 5. It can be hundreds, thousands, and sometimes viral videos, millions. And that's an addiction. That's an addiction of saying if you have it once, you want it again. Get that validation and go, oh, that made me feel really good. That video that I did went viral. And then you try to start posting more of those viral videos. But then the first one was effortless because you were being yourself. The second one, you're trying to replicate. And that's where your self-worth comes in. Because when you try to replicate yourself and what you just did or seeking different validation from other people, you actually start to spiral because you realize that it was first effortless and now you're trying to force it. You're trying to force that reaction again to get that validation. And I want you to realize this. Society may give us those views, give us the stream, the avenue to achieve and to get out to the world, and I get that it's happening, that's what they're doing, but we need to stop and realize that the only validation that you need is from yourself. How do you view you? Are you happy with yourself? Do you wake up every morning or some mornings, look in the mirror and are happy with the person that's looking back at you? Now, I did a video on TikTok a little while ago asking this question, and I had thousands of people say no. Thousands of people. And they're quite happy, they're quite honest to say, no, I don't like the person staring back at me. Which for me prompts the discussion of why. What is happening right now that does not make you like the person staring back at you? Is it something that you've done? Is it something that you're about to do? Is it your appearance? Like, what is it that you are feeling needs to change? Because that validation that you're seeking is from you. No matter how much society turns around and says, no, we actually value you for you, you need to start saying and doing those things. You could have 1,000 people say how gorgeous and how smart you are. But if you don't say that yourself, you will never be filled in that avenue. You have the power to change that. And I'll give an example because I really don't care if you like this video, if you go on and subscribe to it. It doesn't matter to me. What I'm trying to get through to everyone is that I'm doing this because I believe it helps. I believe that getting out there and helping people is always the right thing to do, which is why I'm doing this. Whether this goes viral or not, whether this sees by one person, it's fine. Because my validation comes from me, and these videos that I'm doing, these podcasts, these YouTubes, these clips, these TikToks, these Instagrams, I'm getting gratification out of it. I'm happy that I've made posts that could potentially help other people. And that's what I do. That's why I'm doing this. Whether it goes viral or not is a fantastic coincidence. But it doesn't have to. I'm not doing these for that viral sensation. I'm doing these because I found something, finally, that gives me the validation, the gratification of just doing. I do these and I enjoy them. And I'm lucky enough to be in that sense because there's heaps of people out there that don't enjoy what they do. They struggle with that, and that's okay because that struggle is a part of life. It is. That you're going through right now and trying to find who you are. Trying to find that self-worth. Start creating it. Your path is ever winding. It forks left, right, and center. Choices to be made. Who you talk to, what you eat, what you do, where you go, all affect this path. You're on that journey. You are. And that's what life is about. This is what life is. It is that journey of finding that self-gratification. Because once you get there, once you start to realize that the person looking back at you is the only one you need to smile back, to be happy for, to talk to be there. Once you get there, you're unstoppable. That feeling of loving that person that you see because you're doing what you love, you feel it, you're encompassed by it, that is a great feeling. And I wish it upon everyone. I really do. Again, this is why I do what I do. I want to share that emotion with you all. I want to share it. So, to come back to this, to come back to the self-worth, I want you to start a positive journal. I want you to get a journal and I want you to start writing in the positive things that has happened in your life and things that haven't happened, but you're prepared for them. You want them. Start writing a positive journal. I get the whole writing both sides in a diary or a journal and start jotting down all your thoughts. I'm all for that. What I'm finding is that people are stuck in that negative mindset. The victim mentality, this is what's happening to me, and they write that down and they get stuck in their writing. But if we change that, if we write the positive mindset of how you are thinking, and this is the difficult part because you're going to need to find the positives. And it might be as simple as, I got out of bed, I brushed my teeth, I ate this morning, I walked my dog. Start off with those little things and build on those. Start using your mind in the correct way. Seeing the positive, seeing what you're actually doing. You got clothes on, you put your shoes on, you went out today, you went for a walk, you're breathing, you're here, you read your emails, those little things. Start building on them. Because when you reflect in your journal, when you start looking through it and you start seeing all these small things that you're doing, they will build you up. They will build you up to big things. Big things will come if you start doing the little things. Think of them as building blocks. Think of them as little bricks that you're putting together. Those little bricks eventually will make a wall. That wall can lead to another wall, can lead to a house, can lead to a farm, can lead to a factory, and can really build a city out of those. And that all comes from starting with those minor bricks. So I want you to write a journal, and I want you to do it as many times in a day as possible. For some of you, it might be once or twice. Some of you might be the end of the day. Some of you might just have your journal with you and walk around with it and write down what you do. But if you start doing that, then you're in charge of your self-gratification. You're in charge of seeing the positives. You're doing daily routine and you're writing down what you see. You're no longer wanting or needing that society validation, because you are finding it in yourself each and every day. Which means that you're still getting that same feeling of, I feel good about myself, but now it's no longer the society that's giving you that. It's now you. So that society level is now dropping and you are now increasing yours because you're finding it in daily events, and that'll still balance it out. That's almost like a little nicotine patch here. You're trying to not get rid of everything on social media, because that cold turkey routine that doesn't really work. It can it can work for some, but that rip the band-aid off, I'm getting rid of everything, not talking to anybody, can be really detrimental to mental health. Really. It causes a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, because that rip is like, oh my god, now what? And unless you have something in place, you could be really lost. So what I'm trying to get at is writing down your own positive values, what you're doing. And again, like even future. So you know something's coming. You know you've got something planned. Write that down. Look back on it. Reflect on it. How'd you go? What'd you feel? Write it down. Because that is a way to self-reflect properly. A lot of you out there, I'm not a writer myself, and a lot of you out there aren't either. But I've started doing this. I have. I'm not a writer. But I started doing this because it's actually put down properly. You write it down and it's there. You can't erase that. Even if you do, you cross it out or something, your brain is still telling that you did it. It's that no longer the memory process. You're not storing it in your brain. You're storing it somewhere else, like a hard drive. You're storing it in a hard drive, and that itself is important, because that hard drive, as soon as you put it on there, it's there. It's there now. And you can always revert back to it. You can plug it in and go, yep, that's how I felt. This is what I did. So that's what it's there for. Now, we know how important hard drives are with all of the data and stuff on our computers. I just want you to start making your hard drive. Get a journal, get a diary, get a computer. I don't mind what it is, but start noticing what you're doing. When you start doing that, you'll feel so much better about yourself. And again, it's the small things. Please don't look at this as a one-day thing of, I did it, I don't feel any better. Stick at it. Stick at it. You'll have to do it for months. You'll have to do it for years. You might even continue this all the way through. But I know it works. I know it works. Please, guys, if you like this video, subscribe. Do as much as you can to share it around to as many people as you can. I want to help make a difference in the world. And it starts from making a difference here. Subscribe to my TikTok, Delta_Dylan. YouTube as well. I'll be posting this on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening. Let me know in the comments. Let me know how well if you're doing the journal or not. And let me know how these videos are, because I like the feedback, as brutal and honest as it can be. Please let me know. Take care, everyone. Love ya. Bye.